Hey guys and gals, let's unbox and take a look at the Central Train Station by LEGO City. This is set number 60469, contains 752 pieces, retails for $99.99, and this set was provided by the LEGO Group for review. Thank you, LEGO. So this is essentially what this is. It's just a small portion of a train station. That's what I'm guessing. It's like we got ourselves a little crane here so we could fix the light with the wrench. I've never done that before. And looks like we possibly get an elevator here. Here's the top of the box with the minifigures. So it looks like we get 7 in total, including the baby fig. And let's take a look at the back here. And honestly, just by first impressions, this looks pretty interesting. But doesn't look all that big, to be honest. But just looks interesting. Looks like we just maybe get a 8 or maybe a 10 stud wide train station, but we don't know. And we got that goofy track down here, so it looks like maybe we can add on more to this if we want to. And yeah, I think that is an elevator. Not too bad at all. I'm curious to see what parts we have in here, so let's unbox this and see. And I'm going to be extra careful because I've been getting paper cuts opening up boxes. Yeah, and this one's got tape on all the sides. Well, that one didn't go too bad. Well, let's see how bad this one is. I'm hoping this is going to be a fun build. Yeah, at least my reviews are not scripted. We go through the whole nickel and dime tour on these. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, use this box as a tray. We're going to scoop all that out. And I found the most important ones first. And be careful, you got something floating around at the bottom, so that is an elevator piece that's dusty. I'll keep my opinions to myself. We're going to start with the bag first here. Open this up. This might be a collaborative build because it's separate building guides. Alright, so looks like we've got to build ourselves a little railroad car to work on the tracks. And booklet 2 looks like it does this portion here. Well, then 3 does the same thing. Maybe it's not a group build, we don't know yet. Put those in there. And we also got a set of stickers, and staff only. Let's bring that up so you could see that a bit better. And honestly, yeah, I'm not a fan of those. I'll put those in there. Got that. Okay, question is, does it have a brick separator? Indeed it does. So that's good. Now, how many bags do we have in here? We don't know. So we're just going to start stacking these in here. And, okay, we found a bag of random pieces. Put that over there. Oh, and we found there's a 7 so far. There's a 4. Got some stories to tell, but we can't get to those until we're unbagged here, or until we get to the build installments. Okay, maybe there's only 7 bags in here. That's exactly what there is. Not too bad at all. And that's essentially what it is. There's 7 bags. We got 1 random bag here. It's like 3 building guides and a set of stickers. And honestly, just by first impressions, it looks like your typical LEGO City build with just parts. Look at the tan and white. It's getting to be LEGO's go-to colors. It's not a friend set, I can tell you that much. But yeah, head over to my second channel. We're going to build this set in several installments. We'll come back and take a tour. Let's start with the minifigures. Like we have this lady here waiting for the train. She's got herself a set of luggage. Pretty cool. And next we have this young lady here. Looks like she's ready to purchase a ticket. And I like that torso. And she's got a credit card on a phone and a ticket. So now LEGO has moved up to using credit cards. And she's got too much stuff in her hand. She likes to fall over. And we have this gentleman here with his son or daughter. Not too bad. Like the print work for the torso. Yeah, I have that same haircut right now. Finally got my mop chopped. And then we have this gentleman here. He's got crutches, like he's an employee that works at the train station. You know, kind of being a klutz today, things are just falling down. Next we have this lady. Looks like she runs the snack bar. Not too bad. And we have the conductor for the utility car. I like the reflective print work for his torso. Pretty cool. And these are a nice set of minifigures for the set. Next we have the utility truck, and this is just meant to ride on the tracks. I got a little hatchet here, and supposed to be a wrench on this side, but the conductor's got it, and there's the top right there. This does swing out of the way, and you can open up the top here to set a minifigure inside. There's something missing, huh? You don't have a steering wheel. Probably we don't need it in this since it's on a track. And I like this because this bucket does flex around, it does raise up. So let me back out here a little bit for you. We'll take a better close-up look of this. Looks like my camera's backed out as far as it can go. So we'll stick our minifigure in there. Just be careful with it. And yeah, let's see here. We're going to have to do a bouncy in this scene here. But essentially what he is. How high does this thing go up? This thing doesn't go up too much. You really can't go up too high. That's about as high as it'll go. Just enough to probably reach the lights on top of the tunnel. And it's not too bad for what this is. Here we are at the central train station, and it does come with a lot of minifigures in addition to this utility car. And we got ourselves a little signal light here, and we got a snack bar. We got an outdoor eating area up here. Unfortunately, you're going to have to grow wings to fly up there, and we got a place here to get tickets. Looks like it's just a kiosk and all that stuff over here. And everything you've seen here has stickers, so we'll take a closer look at everything in a bit. Got a nice large archway, so you could obviously put a bigger train in here if you want, instead of just this utility car. And over here we got a working elevator. You just turn the Pidgey's thing here and it goes up and down. Although we'll have to take a look at that on the back side. And looks like we got ourselves maybe a little office up here. We got a nice little clock tower. It's pretty cool with a flower in there. And yeah, that's essentially the front. Now it's up to you to provide more tracks. There's another track that goes on the back side of this, which is this. I left it off for review purposes, but it does come with 2 of those. You get 4 pieces of track in total, 2 of them which you could use to expand on your existing railroad collection. I like the way they did this rounded cover for the outdoor eating area, but it just sits there. It just feels kind of incomplete. And here's the back, kind of bare bones, mostly what you'd see in a Lego City type set. And of course down here you got a big area with just for the snack area, so I guess you're going to have to add more to it. A little eating area. Control room, and not sure what this is for. This is just sitting in here, so you got me. It just feels kind of incomplete looking at this. And then here's the elevator, and this thing just goes up and down. And we'll take a look at that closer in a second. But this thing here, you're going to have small hands to reach into these little cubby holes. Yeah, it's pretty much bare minimum with this one here. And that's essentially what this is. Well, let's take a closer look. Here's a closer look at the snack bar. And that graphic you see down there is sadly a sticker. We do have a croissant, a little area for what I believe to be is a coffee maker. Here's a spot for the utility car to ride through. Here we got ourselves a little signal light, and a place to purchase tickets, and information board, a kiosk that tells us what's arriving, what's departing, where the trains are going. And yeah, and that's sadly stickers, except for the computer monitor print. And here we got a door that takes us into the elevator. And yeah, you better have small hands to get in there. And we got some lights up here. Here's that outdoor eating area. I wish this piece here was printed, but it's not. You just got a simple booth, but there's a little bit of greenery in here, not a whole lot, so it's not really overwhelming. But here's the clock tower. At least the clock face is printed. Also got a couple of pigeons or mourning doves on top of the roof of the clock. This does rotate, so you can bring the elevator lift up and down. And yeah, this is not attached. So if you're building this and you're like, shouldn't there be a way to attach this? That's how it is too. But there's a close-up of that piece of artwork in there. Now if that was printed, I'd be buying a bunch of those. So maybe that's a good thing that thing flips up so we could take a better look at the sticker parts. So here's an entryway that you could board or depart trains, but it's just kind of that. Not a whole lot in there. It just looks like something's missing here too. I think there's supposed to be more to it than this. And I like the way this is designed though. Maybe we'll have to snag that for something and improve it. And trying to get the glare off there, but there's a little control room. This looks like this is just for staff only here. This opens up. And all that there is sadly stickers. At least I didn't get any air bubbles caught in mine. Hope I didn't. And yeah, there's even a bird's nest up here too inside the clock tower. So the clock tower is hollow. Now the only way to really make this look good is you're going to have to put another whole model behind this. But they use these here to strengthen all this up, but over here they didn't. So here's that elevator. And you just turn this here, and this just goes up and down here. And yeah, there's only about 4 studs of space, if that you can get your hands in there. And if you got full-grown adult hands, you're going to have a hard time here. We're going to put her in here. Can you just stick a minifigure in there? Kind of, but it's going to go down. So I'm sure for a child this is going to be easy, but for an adult it's not user-friendly. Especially when things are going to get caught below this, so you're going to have to scoop those out. And it's not a bad build. This is probably the only weak spot down here, so if you're building this, make sure you have it on something solid. And here's this side. At least everything's got ramps, so it's wheelchair accessible. I first thought these were stairs. Lego could have done something a little better than just, this just seems kind of crude. They do actually have slopes that would work for this too. Why they use them in here, I don't know. But it is a nice little fun playset. As you can see, at least there's some stuff to do. I was probably expecting a bit more out of this one here. And with the scratched pieces and the stickers, I don't know. And well, here are my thoughts on this set. Starting the review with build quality, and honestly this is just an average built set. It's your typical Lego City build. Lots of air in here, and things like this are just attached barely, and just a lot of open framework here. But it is a fully playable model, so playability is a plus with this one. There's plenty of things to do. You got the working elevators we saw. You do have some accessories. You got the service car and 2 pieces of tracks, so that's essentially what this is. But it is a playable model. As you can see, we had access to all the interior spaces, which is really good for play. And in addition, you got several minifigures. We which is a plus. Even my build experience was pretty good with the set. It wasn't something boring. It kept my interest throughout the whole build. The only thing that I'm really disappointed with on this is the scuffed transparent pieces. Several of these doors, these glass panels were scratched, and it just made the set feel used and cheap. It looked more like a second-hand part than anything else. That's pretty much the gist of my build experience. It's just a scratch piece. The stickers were just a little bit off, not too much. Now, as far as for dropping this into a Lego City, you have to finish this up. It looks like we're missing something here on this side that needs to be attached. I don't know where something else would go there unless it's meant to attach other accessories or other city parts. But it doesn't really tell you what else goes in with this. So it's not really city ready, but you can put more onto this in terms of tracks. You can put your own pieces into it, complete this model up. You may have to get another one to complete it and build a reverse image of this. Or you could put this with the Arctic train. It would look pretty good. And in addition, there is a lot of pieces in that could be used for other creations. So you could make a whole nother model out of this or use the parts to enhance other builds. So that's another big plus. But you also do get the 4 pieces of track. And yeah, I didn't have the other one put in here, but this one also does come with it too. So you do get 2 of those, and a brick separator, which is even better. Now, for my score on this set, some jaws are going to drop on this one. It's going to be a 6.5 out of 10. It's the scratch pieces that did it this one in. That's what did it here. Stickers weren't too bad. I kind of wish everything was printed in here, but for the gist of the build, anything transparent here had scuff. Some pieces came out without a scratch, literally, but some of these, like these big panels, I don't know what's Lego's doing over there. I really wish they would straighten that out, because that's what's dragging this set and many others like this down. But overall, though, it is a really good build. It kept my interest, and sadly, this is really only meant to be a solo build. So like bag 1 does this here, and then after that it jumps to bags 2 through 7 does this big thing. It's not modular, so really only one person and one person alone can put this thing together. Maybe get a friend to help you put some of this stuff together, but it's just a solo build. So I was hoping this one here would be collaborative. That's also another chip off the score there. I really was hoping this would be collaborative. This has been a good little Sunday project, but no, this one here, it's a fun one to put together, but a 6.5, and the way the set was packed, yeah, not too bad. But the build experience is still pretty good. But tell me what you think.